Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nintendo Expression Pass here on Boss Push Network. I'm your host, the Enlightened Excited ADV. Joining me is the boss man himself, the one, the only Mr. Corey Dirrig. Hello, good sir.
Hi.
You're coming with fierce energy.
Thought I would switch it up this time.
Oh, goodness. Well, everybody, this one, it's kind of going to be an interesting discussion. I was kind of thinking about some games that's coming to Switch, and I was thinking of Nier Automata that's going to be dropping for Nintendo Switch, and it's a port of the game that came out for PlayStation 4, and then later on came out to Xbox. And it kind of got me thinking that I know some people are kind of tired of port games coming to Switch.
Who's tired?
I
port everything to Switch. I don't care how long it takes. Bring it.
But I think porting has helped the Nintendo Switch, and I after thinking about that, I kind of was just like, man, if you really look at it, Nintendo Switch may be the best platform that have a good balance of a library that just comes from everywhere. You know, we got strong first party, some great indie games. We got PC games that surprise everybody that hit Switch. Of course, we got third party, but you know, we also got these ports of older games hitting Nintendo Switch. And I kind of want to ask you, Corey, like, what do you think about it? Does Nintendo Switch have a good balance of games for a library to make the system what it is?
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you look at I think Nintendo has some of the best output they've ever had in terms of a console, right? Like I always half jokingly but half seriously say that the Wii U is my favorite Nintendo console. But like now we're in year 6 of the Switch, right? Like we're in it, and there's just so many games. Like I was making a list of physical games that I would like to get back, and you look at first party alone, and there's like in terms of first party, there's like 30-ish games from first party. Maybe 35 or 40 even, you know, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, there are so many games for this console and first party alone. And then you look at all the great indie games, right? Obviously, a lot of them come to Switch first or people play them here, right? Like, I can't tell you how many indie games I've tried on Game Pass. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy that on Switch, you know? And, I mean, just to name a few this year, like Nobody Saves the World, Death's Door, you know, it's games like that. I'm just like, oh man, these are great games. These are great portable games, and like, you know, I'm kind of excited for Tunic, even though like I what I played on Game Pass was like just okay for me. So yeah, I mean, you look at that, and then you look at the third party support we've gotten across the board, right? I mean, not a lot of like newer games, but like great support from Ubisoft, from 2K, from Bethesda. We talked a lot about Bethesda on the last episode, from CD Projekt Red even, right? Like with The Witcher, and you know, rumors floating around that The Witcher 2 could possibly make its way over. You know, you see even Activision, right? No, we didn't get Call of Duty, but we got Tony Hawk, we got Crash, we got Spyro, we got Overwatch, we got Diablo 2 and 3, right? And we're getting Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4, which is awesome. Like
the assignment for Diablo 3, you know, was big.
Yeah, and so I think that the Switch, yeah, it has a great variety of games, and I mean, people are like, well, yeah, all these other games are on the other consoles and they play better and they have first party titles too. But I'm like, yeah, but they don't have Nintendo games, you know. I guess technically, if you had an Xbox Series console and you got an emulator and didn't hook it up to the internet or whatever, you could technically play Nintendo games on it. But you know what I mean? Like, you don't have Nintendo games, and you can take these games with you natively, right? most of them. Uh, and you can play it in handheld mode or on the TV. And what you don't get in fidelity and frame rate for some of these third-party games, you definitely get the convenience of portability. And, if you don't like the Joy-Cons, you can get those Power A kind of, not Power A, but the Hori kind of wide grip ones.
Yeah.
Right? Like which I'm actually thinking about getting for vacation. You get a lot of interesting titles like Astral Chain and Bayonetta, and we got Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, which was, a huge thing, right? Because, at the time, Avengers had already been announced, but not out yet, and people were anticipating that game.
Yeah.
And then you get remember when we were watching it, I thought, like, when they were showing that initial character art and trailer, I thought it was that stupid phone fighting game. Remember that?
Everybody did.
Yeah. And it ended up being a pretty big hit for them, and it's not an amazing game, but it's a cool little nod to the past. And the Marvel Ultimate Alliance and X-Men Legends are some great games, and
Yes.
The fact that the Switch got the sequel is awesome. So yeah, I think the Switch is an awesome place to play a bunch of different types of games: family games, motion games, exercise games, first party games, indie games, third party games, racing games. They're everywhere.
Ring Fit Adventure, even after the pandemic, is still selling. Like that's literally
it's a top
crazy
25 games for the console. 15 million units.
And I think what people don't understand is that, yes, Fire Emblem Three Hopes, when they showed off Link's Awakening, like Brian Altano from Nintendo Voice Track at IGN, he lost his mind. And look how big that was. Like, I knew about Dragon Quest 11 because that came on 3DS in Japan. I didn't expect that game to be on Switch, but here it is. And you throw it in one of the most packed months, which was September. But then you literally see Banjo-Kazooie being a smash, people losing their mind. Going back to the Game Awards, that same time that they were showing Ultimate Alliance 3, they showed Joker for Smash. And the first thing people was like, okay, when Persona 5 hitting the Switch?
And 2 years later, here we are. 2 years later, here we are.
And people just like, yeah, I'll play it on Game Pass, but they're going to be buying the game on Switch. And I think that's what a lot of companies were realizing, that, yeah, we put our game on Switch, whatever we get on Game Pass or what in the past, the Switch players are going to buy this at $60 or whatever. They're gonna make it up. When it came to Fortnite and crossplay, that was huge.
Yeah.
When it came to Civilization 6, cross saves was happening and everything. Like, stuff that should have been happening on a other console. Nintendo Switch was doing it with all the games that were coming out. People were just like, Cuphead, I'll play that on Switch, or hope it came to Switch. It did. Even before the game got released, it was number 1 on the eShop.
Mm-hmm.
Ori and the Blind Forest. Microsoft knew that, it did, I guess it did well on Microsoft sale. I don't know how they did on sale-wise. I think Game Pass did very well. Ori and the Blind Forest and Will of the Wisp. I don't know how well both of those games sold on Xbox.
I'm not 100% sure, to be honest with you.
But people bought both games on Switch. Like, we had a
for
discussion.
A while, the first game, that was the definitive way to play that game.
Yeah.
Remember? Because it ran at 60 frames instead of 30, which I know they kind of remedied with, what do you call it? With the Xbox Series consoles. But, at first, that was a big deal.
Yeah, and even though I get on EA from here and there, some of their games that got ported to Switch were good. Burnout Paradise was a great game. I think one of the games that confused everybody was Unravel 2. Like, why wasn't it? Why was Unravel not on Switch yet? Why was it Unravel 2 not on Switch when it came out for the other consoles? People were just like, we would buy it on Switch if they would have released it, because Unravel 2 came and went and everything. But I'm like,
Yeah, but I think if you remember that these games, Nintendo likes to make a big deal about games coming to the Switch, right? Like
yeah,
we saw that with the Persona announcement, right? At not not E3, where they announced it for Xbox, and everybody's like, "Well, where's the Switch announcement? Where's the Switch announcement? Where's the Switch announcement?" And obviously, Microsoft isn't going to announce that game for Switch at their conference, right? But
right.
they had the big press release afterwards, and everybody's like, "Well, where is it? Where is it? Where's the game for Switch on this press release?" Because it didn't say. And then Nintendo had their partner direct, and then we saw it, and the rest is history. But it's it was a big deal. Nintendo likes to make a big deal for these games because it's a big thing for them to get third party games on the console. I feel.
Yes. And I think that's why people were be like, okay, if it shows in a Nintendo Direct, it gotta be something very impressive. Because like even Neon White was a game no one really was paying attention. But when they first showed it, I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta get this game, and I did end up getting it and everything. And people end up getting it on PC to Switch, and it's become one of the it's one of those low key indie games, but it's literally people just like, yeah, this may be one of the game of the years, and I think that's why maybe it maybe just be me that I feel like Nintendo Switch library has a lot of game of the year contenders across the board. Definitely with some of their indie games and their first party games.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but their their third party and their porting games is also strong enough not to hit game of the year, but to bring interest into that series that people are going to pick up and play and finish and take on the go. You
Yeah.
know, where even when we had our discussion, just like sometimes people don't care about the technical aspects. Yeah, as long as the frame rate works and the controls are good, you know, um, that's good enough. Now, can't say anything about Baldo because the game looked good, and then it came out and was a disaster, questionable content.
See, I didn't really think that game looked very good.
Well, I
It
think
looked like a 3DS game.
I think it was because of the Studio Ghibli look to it.
No, I mean
For it.
that's fair. I just it really looked like a poor excuse for a 3DS game to me. But that's just me. I'll stop being mean now.
No, but it was just, but even like knowing that Microsoft and Nintendo was having a good relationship, and I think they still do have a good, healthy relationship. Yes, they brought Minecraft, Cuphead, uh, and Ori. You know, it was good to see that Minecraft Dungeon was releasing on Switch
Hmm.
and stuff. And regardless of what people took away from it, to know that Microsoft and Nintendo have a really good relationship
Hmm.
really made, in my opinion, really helped Microsoft more than they helped Nintendo, because it was just like, this is what when two first party companies come together and bring whatever deal that they had when they work together. This is what is good to see, because we were seeing the Mario stuff at Microsoft press conference. That's huge to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
You know, uh, to even know, even with Hellblade coming to Switch, before I think after Ninja Theory was bought by Microsoft and everything, that's big too, because I'm like, I've always wanted Ninja Theory to put something on Nintendo, or what would they do with Nintendo if they were able to do something?
Yeah.
To get Hellblade on Switch, like I think I think that's one of the games that people probably triple dipped on with that because they did get it for PlayStation. Of course, they people bought it for Xbox, and they probably got it on Switch because they were just like once again one that curiosity thing. How well does it run? And it runs pretty well on it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, the fact that you can play so many of these games and they're just, I mean, it's just a fun place to play, like it's
Mm,
my console of choice, I mean, I jokingly say if Destiny was on the Switch, I would probably play it there, and that's not really a lie. Especially now with like cross save and cross play and stuff. But
yeah,
you know,
and
it's go ahead. Sorry.
oh no, I was just thinking about Steam in a sense, and not so much the Steam Deck or anything, but just like when I watch the Wholesome Games Direct,
Hmm.
and even the Inappropriate Interactive Direct, when I watch these like small games, and they and a game is coming to Steam and coming to Switch,
Hmm.
uh, people get excited about that because they're just like, I love the fact that even their casual games that's on Switch, I would enjoy to play walking simulators and everything. I would love to play that on the Switch on the go and stuff. Um, you know, like I think it's just like Switch has such a big enough library that caters to so many people. Um, that it kind of boggles my mind that people said that the Switch doesn't have nothing for them. So
Yeah, I
they
mean,
still
I
downplay
think
it. Oh, good.
I just I just think Nintendo is an easy console for people to bash on, whether they know they are or not, right? And
Mm-hmm.
because it's so popular, and yeah, I know people still say, "Oh, the Switch still has no games." I'm like, how can you look at this console and say it has no games? It's just like I hate that because people say that about Xbox also and PlayStation at certain points also, and it's like, well, no, it just the games that they're putting out aren't speaking to you. You can't tell me
Right.
that a company that's putting out a new first party title, on average every 6 to 8 weeks for 6 years, right, doesn't have a game for you. And that's just first party games, right? You can't sit here and tell me that. I'm sorry,
And I
but
think
you're a liar.
uh, it's that preference thing. And it's just like they have games, but you won't jump out your comfort level to try them or to support them. You know, you're. I think there are people who are just. I don't want to say stuck in their ways, but they just there's something about their reputation that they have about games, how they view games, and what appeals to them to keep that reputation up. And I think sometimes when people feel like when they play something on Switch, it lowers their reputation or anything. Like if their friends found out that they're playing this game on Switch, they'd be like, "Why are you playing that version instead of playing the better version?" And it's just and I don't know why some people still hold on to that because you you cannot. I feel like sometimes you cannot say that when a system don't have that many games and you're still playing older titles on the more powerful hardware that you can't say. I can sometimes feel like you can't say that, oh, Switch doesn't have nothing for me, but you're still playing something like Sea of Thieves or Xbox, or you're playing uh, Helldivers on PlayStation 4, or Dark Souls on PlayStation 4, or PlayStation 5. Like,
Well, the thing is like, okay, if you like open world games, right? Like, they
mm,
have Breath of the Wild, they have The Witcher, they have, you know, 10 Assassin's Creed games, right? If you like shooters, there's Splatoon, there's Doom, there's Wolfenstein, there's Crisis, there's Bright Memory Infinite that just came out, right? And like if you like RPGs, there's a ton of RPGs, whether you're looking
shoot,
for
Square
West.
Enix. Square Enix got the JRPG stuff lined up on that system.
Right. I mean, like, there's a ton of JRPGs. There's a ton of Western RPGs. You know, there. If you like strategy games, there's XCOM. There's Mario plus Rabbids. There's Civ 6, right? And
Mm-hmm.
which has, a lot of these games that are available on PC, right? Like The Witcher and Civ 6 and I think XCOM, right? You can go in and cross save with your PC version.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, there's just a lot the Switch has to offer, even if you, I guess, don't realize it.
It I think I feel sometimes I feel like when people are just like, oh, Bayonetta is not for me, but I'm gonna play God of War. It's just like, well, you should be able to play Bayonetta, uh, because it's not the same as God of War, but it's in that action realm of games and
Well, I
everything.
mean, not new God of War though. I would argue new God of War is more like over the shoulder third person action game. Like,
Yeah, but I think the gameplay is still similar, like a light attack, heavy attack, that kind of thing. I think the perspective is different. Yeah, I understand what you mean. Yeah, um, but it's just like I guess I'm just equating it to be like it's an action game, so you should be able to play this other action game just with a different perspective
yeah,
and everything. You
yeah,
know, yes, and Switch doesn't have something like Forza Motorsport, but they do got some of the uh bigger simulating car racing games from third party. They may be a little bit late and stuff, but they have them there. I'm just like, yeah, it doesn't have anything on the level of even like Gran Turismo 7 or anything, but I mean, there are racing games that's on this platform that you can play. You know, excuse me. And then like even looking at the Sega Genesis online and the NES NSO stuff online with the Super Nintendo and everything, there are games on there that help build the Switch library because they never been released out of Japan or Europe. That's on there.
hmm
You know, or if you want to play that that Super Nintendo game that was hard to do, to get through, they got the SP section or version of it where they're super powered up and you can be on the last level, play it there, and beat the game.
hmm
You
yeah.
know.
No, I agree. It's just, I don't know. I know, like, I know the Switch isn't the most technical console, right?
Hmm.
But it doesn't matter. Okay. I know people like complain that there's no themes on the Switch right now, right? It's like, well, what are you staring at your home screen for longer than like to turn it on? You know, I never really understood the appeal of themes because it just means you're not playing the games. Uh, and like, there's so many other ways to customize it, right? With like, you can buy like an extra dock that's a different color. You can buy the Joy Cons. You can buy the Pro controllers, right? I
Hmm.
wish there were more colors of Pro controllers, but like, we
Yes.
can you can get the Smash one or the Xenoblade one or the Splatoon ones or the Monster Hunter ones, right? And have like, okay, I feel good right now, right? And uh I don't know, man. I love this console. Like, I don't want it to end. Like, would I love a more powerful one? Yeah. And like, I know we're not really talking about what's coming next, but like, we're in year 6. I mean, Nintendo's thinking about it, right? And so I don't want this console to end because I love what it does, I love what it
Hmm.
offers me. I love, even we haven't even brought this up, but like the Nintendo Switch Online and expansion pack stuff, right? I
Yeah.
love how convenient it is to play classic games on here. Like, you just download the little module, right? and you download the NES module and it's just loaded up with like 30 or 40 games, you know? I mean, granted, not all of them are bangers, but like it's the NES. None of them, like 80% of the library sucked. You know, unless you got your classics, but and I know like a lot of the games aren't on there that people want, right? But you got to realize that third parties are selling the collections, right? Like the Mega Man collection or the Castlevania collection.
Yeah.
And even like the Genesis collection, which, you know, most of those games are on the Genesis Online thing anyway. So I just think it's so convenient in the way they're selling, like they're selling the classic controllers wirelessly to play these games too, which again, wish they made
Keep
more.
selling
But
out.
you know, I was lucky enough to get two N64 controllers. Would I like two more? Of course I would. It's a 4-player console. I would love to have 4 more. And like I'm looking at the GameCube controller adapter, because you know eventually that GameCube games are coming, and that those GameCube controllers are gonna fly off the shelves.
Oh, good move. I'm just
Right, especially if they're Wavebirds, you know.
Yeah.
Which I could go either way. They're going to be wireless either way, right? So I don't really care. Although the Wavebirds are cool controllers, and they did already technically sell the GameCube controllers for Smash, the regular ones. So give me a Wavebird. Why not? Switch it up.
I would definitely buy a Wavebird.
Yeah,
if I was able to get one.
Wavebirds are cool though. They're so cool.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of, you know, what the Switch offers, how many different ways you can do things, right? Like I think that they are doing it the right way. Granted, there's a lot wrong with Nintendo's things, right? Like we talked about the store, it kind of sucks. We talked about their playing online, still not up to par with PlayStation and Xbox, right? But like everything else, I think is like actually relatively great. I love the simple interface, you know, the cross media bar. If you're comparing it to PlayStation, like I love the interface. I love the way the games look in your library. I love the games that they put out, most of them.
I love the fact that we have folders, but like even though I sometimes forget them.
Yeah, I mean the folders I don't really care about the folders, to be honest.
But compared to how folders was on the Wii U.
Oh no, yeah, and the 3DS, to be honest too.
Oh yeah, that is true.
You know, I mean, I don't really care about folders all that much. I like that as long as the games are alphabetized, that's good enough for me.
Yeah,
but. Yeah, man. Well, I mean, the Switch is it's just an amazing console, and I hope that this console goes like 10 more years.
Yeah, I think that's why I feel like this console has the best library, because yes, it has the new stuff, but it kind of, I mean, just like we talked about Dead Cells, you know, but. Like even Hades, when Hades came out, like the full version, you know, it to me personally, and it may just be me. I'm not trying to be ignorant or have ignorance or anything, but no one was really talking about that on PC when it came to Epic, even though it was like kind of an early access game.
Well, I think nobody was talking about it on the Epic Store because nobody likes the Epic Store.
That is true.
You know, I mean. Borderlands 3, remember that whole debacle when it was an Epic exclusive for a year and people were like review bombing it because they hated the Epic Store, which I don't really understand the whole.
And then the game came out and it came and went to, because like I said, that game had tons
the game still
of
sold 20 million units though. That's.
I'm shocked by that because
why? Borderlands 2 was like one of the best-selling games of all time.
Well, which I understand, but I thought Borderlands 3 would be such a like. I thought people would keep talking about it and everything, and it was just like I think when when I was seeing all those millions of copies at Best Buy, every Best Buy that I went to had tons of Borderlands 3 for Xbox and for PS4. And it's still like now when I go to those stores, they still got those same copies from ever since it was released. So that's why I was kind of I wonder if they did a lot of sales digitally or stuff, or if 2K like really flooded these stores with that game because it like man, that's a lot of copies that they shipped out and didn't nobody touch them. You know, like and that's kind of like I think that's why when it comes to Switch, even with Black Friday, you got to get your games. You got to get your make sure you got your list ready and get ready to start getting your orders and stuff ready because when it comes to Black Friday for Switch, games are gone. When it comes to PlayStation and Xbox, even though they're the cheaper version and the better version, they stay on shelves for a long time. And that may just be the area that I'm at. I don't know how anybody else's area, if it's consistent or if it's different and stuff. You know, for a system that apparently don't have games that people proclaim, that they probably don't have no games because you can't buy them because they all sold out or something.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So do you have any other thoughts on this? I mean, it's great to see all this support. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think obviously indies are thriving, which is like at almost probably 50% of what people are buying these days on the Switch. But I'm glad to see that it's just super popular.
I think the last thing I had to say about Switch having the best library um is that it's such an undeniable library, you
Hmm.
know, that a lot of people who own the other platforms or own even PC, uh, I think Switch has such an interesting library and such a big diverse library that people are willing to give a game more of a chance on Switch than any other platform. And giving it a chance means actually buying the game, whether it's digitally or physically. You know, because like the double dipping business really hit hard on Switch
Hmm.
for, and I think that's why physical media, when people are talking about which is better, physical or digital, I'm like, to the Switch players, it doesn't matter because people will probably get into both.
The problem is like Nintendo probably has the best incentives to buy digital, with like
Hmm.
because like you get triple the coins or whatever. Like
Yeah.
you don't really get a lot of things for buying games on Xbox, right? I'm not I know that PlayStation just came out with that PlayStation Stars program. I'm not 100% sure what it is, so I don't really want to judge it or comment on it yet.
Hmm.
I think Shane wrote something up on it on bossrush.net, but I haven't really had a chance to dive into what that is. But Microsoft kind of focused their whole thing around Game Pass, right? And they're kind of like they're not all in on Game Pass, but they're really pushing their chips in on all in on Game Pass at this point, to the point where
Yeah.
like uh their quest and mission and reward system is all about play this game on Game Pass, get an achievement in this game on Game Pass, play this game and get 50 kills in this game on Game Pass, right? Like all these rewards are based around Game Pass, and like depending on how many quests you do in a month, like you get bonus points for completing 2 weekly quests, right? Or
Hmm.
if you complete ten daily quests, you get extra bonus points and stuff, to the point where it's like, oh, well, I have like $10 or $15 in Xbox gift cards I could probably use, right? But uh Nintendo's incentive to buy eShop games is, I mean, you get $3, like you're basically getting $3 a game if you pay full price, right?
Yeah, because
And it's nuts on that console.
well, because you got to think about it, they don't have to share the profits with anybody. Like if
Well,
Nintendo,
they
I feel.
do. They do with with third parties
No, I'm talking
and
about I'm talking about first party.
oh.
Uh, you know, when you I was thinking of when you said selling the game when Nintendo selling the game and stuff. So I'm thinking like if they do Yoshi's Crafted World or something, like yes, Nintendo selling it because that's the Nintendo product, but they don't have to give it to Best Buy or Target or anything. They don't have to really worry about physical copies and putting that game on a cartridge and
Mm-hmm.
doing that. They're getting full profit for that. um Third party is just like, yeah, we're not getting full profit, but it's easier that Nintendo get their cut, we get our cut. We could skip retail. Retail is not getting nothing because it's a digital product
Yeah.
and everything. And I think when you think of Game Pass, I don't know how that system works, but Game Pass is a committed, uh, it's a committed service. Yes, and I like the way that you said that. Their rewards is connected part of Game Pass, and Microsoft push it because they know that if we get more subscribers and everything, regardless of what we sell at the store, we have that committed revenue coming in and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And so whatever we pay from what people play, we know that we're getting their $15
Mm-hmm.
uh, a month. And if we could get just these certain amount of people per month, that's committed revenue. I'm like, because it's digital stuff. We don't have to share that. Only thing that we have to share that revenue with is with that other company of people play their games. But if they're playing Halo or anything, we're getting that full revenue. So we
Mm-hmm.
don't have to share anything with that, and that would make up the budgets that we have for this company and
Mm-hmm.
everything.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So I mean, it like I said, the Switch is just a great console. I'm excited to play it. I mean, look at this year alone. Like the second half of this year is stacked full of games to play, and
Yeah.
it's to the point where like I haven't even been paying attention to what's happening on PlayStation or Xbox because I don't care because of all the great things I can come play on Switch, right? Like I think the only thing on Xbox I'm really looking forward to at the end of the year is like Gotham Knights, I think, and Hogwarts Legacy. I think I'm excited for on Xbox, but I'm gonna play it on Switch first because a I want to make sure like if it's good on Switch to like kind of give it some praise, but if it's
Mm-hmm.
bad, I want to let people know too. But also, I kind of feel like that's going to be a Game Pass game in the spring for some reason. Uh,
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, I want that game to succeed. I know people have their issues with, you know, J.K. Rowling or whatever, but like Harry Potter is such an important franchise to so many people. I just
Mm-hmm.
want this game to succeed because it looks really cool. I feel like it's just an awesome looking game, you know. So
Yeah, I think that's when a game comes from uh I don't want to say a troubling artist or book or author or whatever, but when a game or IP is coming from someone that people uh disagree with
hmm
in a sense, um they know the business assumption is that if they purchase this product, their money is going to go to them for supporting it. Even though that person is the creator of that franchise of that IP and stuff,
hmm
um, they feel like they don't really want to do that, but in order for them to enjoy the game, you have some options. One of them is definitely pretty much illegal, but the other one is going to really going to someone's house and playing it.
Hmm.
That's the only way that you'll be able to experience that game without paying for it.
Hmm.
You know, um, and I think that that's kind of what some people are not trying to do in this modern age. They don't they want to support a product, but don't want to support that product that comes from someone that they disagree with,
Hmm.
in a sense.
Yeah.
You know, because as because that look, everybody was saying that they weren't going to play a game from Activision, and look how they still are making bank.
I know. I mean, people talk out of two sides of their mouths, right? And I mean, we know people that we talk to regularly that are like that, right? Where they're like, "Oh, we're all the bad things happening at Activision Blizzard. Oh, I'm boycotting them. Oh, Overwatch 2 seems interesting. Oh, Diablo 2 Resurrected looks awesome. I'm getting that day one." It's like, come on, guys. Like, and that's that's a whole conversation for a different day. But
Mm.
I'm just the video game industry kind of like people like just it just kind of bothers me. We'll say to keep it PG.
It's it's a thing, but I before we end the show, because we got some Patreon producers to shout out. I think Nintendo, and the games that's on its platform and the games that still are planned for this platform, I think personally for me is so balanced, is so good that there's a lot out there. There's a lot to discover. There's some that people could go out and support. Stuff that people could go in and like learn a new skill. You don't. I love the fact that Switch offers so many experiences that it doesn't have to be the same thing. You can literally go out and spend some money playing something different, and whether you like it or not or anything, and you'll probably be mad that you gave this company your money and stuff. You cannot deny that it doesn't offer anything to change your way of thinking about games, your way of playing games, uh your way of, because like look at Untitled Goose Game.
Right.
Like that should be a game that nobody really didn't really care about, but it came on. It had a great trailer, and then look at all the stuff that came out after it before the game even released.
Yeah. Yeah. And the fact that I mean, going back to like some third party stuff, the fact that I can play Spyro, the fact that I can play Tony Hawk on my Switch, the
Mm-hmm.
remakes is awesome. I mean, I love Tony Hawk. I love those first two games specifically. Uh played the first one on N64 and the second one on Dreamcast, and it's
Nice.
like the fact that I can just kind of go in and play those games, and obviously they look better and than those original versions, and but like all the music is there, all the levels are there, all the skaters are there, right? Like it's just I don't know, man. I kind of like, especially the last I would say like the last 6 months or so. I've been thinking a lot about things in the past and just having a lot of nostalgia feelings about
Mm-hmm.
not just games but just like life in general.
Yeah.
And going back to some of these games like N64 games or Tony Hawk or some of these remakes or collections, right? And it just takes me back to a time that I remember fondly, and honestly the last piece of that puzzle on the Switch that would make this the console to end all consoles would probably be GameCube games, or
Yeah.
not even that, or just like the they're talking about that Metroid Prime remaster or remake this year, or the Zelda ports from Wii U. Like those are really the only games that I like would that I care about at this point, right? Making it over from a first party perspective, right? Like I would love to see
Yes.
like I would love to see an HD version of Skies of Arcadia Legends,
Uh,
or
oh
Tales of
goodness.
Symphonia we talk about a lot, or
Yes.
even the two Baton Kaitos games. Uh,
Oh yeah.
like if I could just get a couple GameCube games and Like, I'm kind of shocked that there's not a Dreamcast collection yet of some sort. Like, I don't know why that just doesn't exist anywhere.
Yeah,
Uh,
and that's
I've
really
actually
pretty
gone
awesome.
back and I've actually gone back and purchased a lot of those games on Xbox because they're backwards compatible. But it's weird. There's like this really weird workaround for Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 and like anything that was on Dreamcast that was on the 360 through
Hmm.
the arcade. Like you have to go through Xbox's website to buy them,
Oh wow!
and like Jet Set Radio Future is backwards compatible, totally playable on Xbox Series X, right? But you can't buy it in the store because it was licensed for Xbox 360. So you have to go to the Xbox Marketplace and search like
Are you
you
serious?
can't even go through like the Xbox Marketplace. You have to Google search it. You have to type in Jet Set Radio Future Xbox Marketplace and it'll take you to the product page and you can buy it there, right? But like
I did not know
yeah,
that.
it was that. What was the other one? There's a couple games that were like that. Uh
Because I have bought something from the marketplace online for Xbox games.
yeah,
I
no,
never knew that.
a lot. I mean, a lot of them you can, but some of the games that are backwards compatible that they're no longer allowed to sell through the console store, you can still
Hmm.
buy through their website. I wish I could remember a couple more of those games because uh, there were a lot.
Because I do want Jet Set Radio. I want Sonic One, Sonic Adventure, and I want Sonic Two. Because I never.
All the Dreamcast games on arcade are $10
Oh,
digitally.
nice.
So I mean, you can kind of go in and just buy them, and then you can actually buy the battle version, you can buy the DX version of Sonic Adventure and the battle version of Sonic Adventure 2
Mm.
as add-on packs for the Xbox versions, which is kind of nice. But I want I want those versions on Switch. The so let's just to wrap the show, Ed.
Yes.
Uh, what what would you like to see? Like just like one or two things come to the Switch, whether they're like old games or third party support or whatever. What are two things that would really kind of push this console finally over the edge as like one of the greatest consoles of all time?
Oh man. Well, we already said GameCube. Um, I would love to actually have
God, could you?
more.
By the way, Dreamcast games. Could you imagine if Nintendo sold Dreamcast controllers? What if your old VMUs worked? What if you could stick your old VMUs in there?
Do you know the
Oh my
craziness?
god!
All those
And
retro.
people could wake up their cow, their chow gardens from Sonic Adventure.
Trust me, everybody would be hitting garage sales, retro stores, the Salvation Army. The swap meet. They're going to be hitting all of these stores to
Well,
get
the thing
all
is,
of that
like
stuff.
VMUs aren't rare. It's the controllers that are getting harder to find because they're
Yeah,
made of cheap garbage plastic.
yeah, that
Dude,
is true.
the Dreamcast controllers were such garbage.
Uh, I think for me, it would definitely be um more arcade games that never came out to America. Because there's games that I see on YouTube, like long plays and stuff, and I'm like, man, I don't remember this stuff. And I know like they have some on into the on the eShop, and like the arcade archives are good and everything. But I'm like, man, Namco, Tecmo, SNK, like a lot of you Japanese developers have a lot of arcade main machines that have not come out. I Someone actually posted if you were able to get Michael Jackson Moonwalker, which one would you get? They had the Sega Genesis, a PC one, and an arcade. I would love to have the arcade version on on Switch. I mean, I would love to have the Sega Genesis version, but I don't know how that would work.
Mhm.
But I would love to have Moonwalker on an arcade on Switch. Um, I shoot, heck, I would love. Well, not so much Ultra Beast, but like a lot of that stuff that from the arcade port version before it came to Dreamcast, I would love to have. Like, I would love to have the arcade version of Power Stones, um, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Like, I would love to have all of that on Switch. Man, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on Switch, dude. The craziness that would happen, because everybody gonna be like, okay, where's 3 at? Where's Ultimate? And everything. If they could get the licensing stuff all together with that, heck yeah, they would bring that game to Switch.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, for me, I think, I mean, like I said before, I think Dreamcast. I think Dreamcast is like the last kind of thing that I've been kind of nostalgic for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I've even been going back and watching certain things on YouTube and stuff about Dreamcast and games, like not just Sonic Adventure or stuff like that, but like, I mean, we talk about Blue Stinger on this show a lot, which is like it's like a hilariously terrible game, but there's a lot of nostalgia for that game to me. Crazy Taxi is another one that's just like, that game is, I love Crazy Taxi so much. And then obviously Jet Set Radio and the sports games and, I guess Shenmue 1, Shenmue 1. I don't have a lot of nostalgia for that game, but it's,
Well, can I ask you a question? Do you think WiiWare will come to eShop? Those WiiWare titles will come to eShop, or would you like WiiWare to be something of like NOS Online and stuff?
I mean, at this point, like, I don't really care either way. I think that the WiiWare, I think the games that were on WiiWare should just come to the eShop at some point.
Because I'm like Konami. Like, I will rebuy Contra Rebirth if they did that. Because I would love to play that on Switch. I would love to play it on the bigger screen and take that game on the go, because I wasn't able to do that on the Wii. I mean, yeah, playing on the big screen I had, but like taking Contra Rebirth on the go, I would love to have that, because I don't know if I'm going to get a Contra 2 collection where it's Rebirth and then all the PlayStation Contras and stuff. Like, I don't know if I'm going to get all of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt or anything.
Nope. It's fine. I just, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of like older games too, that I never really got to play that are just unplayable,
Yeah.
I can't really think of any offhand right now, but that's kind of like a trend that's, I mean, we were shocked that the Ninja Turtles collection was coming out, because all those games are owned by so many parts of those games are owned by so many different companies that it's just like, I cannot believe that. And I know a lot of people are complaining that game costs like what, $40, I think, for the collection, but it's like, do you realize how many companies they have to pay for like fees, right? Konami published a lot of that stuff, but also Nickelodeon owns the Ninja Turtles now. I mean, IRM owns a lot of the classic stuff. Nintendo, I think, actually published the first Ninja Turtles. There's a lot of companies that still, like, I guess Ultra published.
Yeah,
published the Ninja Turtles game. It's on the
but
first
you guys
one. But
you gotta pay the creators. Digital Eclipse, they did.
So like,
did the porting.
This like, at the end of the day, this just kind of feels like a make good thing for Konami to get into good graces for. Which I think Konami's actually been doing a pretty decent job of, like,
oh yeah,
their collections after that Symphony of the Night collection on PS4, like, everything that has come after that, I feel like a lot of people have really praised them for.
Yeah, because like
They're prepping
Castlevania
for
Event,
they're prepping for that massive Metal Gear collection with the first 4 games and the NES and MSX games. And
I wonder would that hit Switch?
I
Would it
here's the
hit
thing.
Switch eventually?
Here's the thing. I think I think if it's just 2, 3, and Peace Walker, it'll come to Switch. If it's 1 and 4 included in there, I'm not sure, except for the fact that maybe the Switch gets a special edition of Twin Snakes.
I would love that.
And I know a lot of people don't really care about Twin Snakes the way that Nintendo fans do, but that would just be my guess, is that if it's, well, I don't know, because 4 is technically a PS3 game and can probably run on the Switch also.
Mm-hmm.
So I think their biggest thing is to like, let's get 4 off the PlayStation 3. I really think I really think that that's their goal. Let's get Metal Gear Solid 4 off of the PlayStation 3 and just let people play that game.
Right. I think with Konami doing these collections, and we talked about this before, them doing these collections and then letting these other developers take their IPs and do something with it, or they publish other indie games like for the first time, like Skull Attack and stuff. Like that's the Konami that I'm liking. That feels like they're getting back to their old roots and everything. I don't have a problem with Konami or anything, because like Wait For It is now like my Konami in a sense, and I love Wait For It. But I think Konami's getting back. I think ever since they got back to Nintendo and they got on Switch, like supporting them the way that they are supporting it, it kind of feels like you guys are getting back to what you have been known for and everything. Because right now, I'm ready for a new Double Dribble.
No.
There's a lot of indie games that could do Double Dribble. Their hockey game, like some of their other games, they don't have to do that Billy game, the Hillbilly game. Bayou Billy, they don't have to do that. No.
Oh no, that game's awesome. They could even do the racist Tom Sawyer version.
No goodness. Not
Which
in this age.
Have still, unfortunately.
But I think Konami literally could get back to, because I would play Snatcher. Like if they remade Snatcher and did like a new kind of look to it, made it more detailed, or they want to throw it on the Genesis Online, fine, do it. But I would play a new version of Snatcher if they were able to do it. Like Konami has like, man, Sunset Riders I want to play. Like Konami has so much history with games that if they released it now, I think people would give in to giving it a try. And I think because I really feel like Ninja Turtles is going to really be successful, I think that game is going to sell really good on Switch than any other platform.
Yeah.
I think all the other platforms are just going to be for the trophies and achievements and probably with some friends. But the real support for that's going to be coming to Switch.
Yeah. Well, I have to tell you that I will be playing it on Switch, and I will be playing it with the proper controllers because it's going to allow you to do that. So.
And I will be having the game, playing it on whatever controller I have, and I will be.
By the way, why can't they put out the 6-button Genesis controller? Just why?
I have not one idea.
Come on, Nintendo, just let me have the 6-button Genesis controller, and I'll be on my way.
Because I don't even think they don't have any games on Genesis that's the 6-button.
It doesn't matter. Just let me have the option. Oh man. Anyways.
Yes. But Corey, let's get into our shout outs to our Patreon producers.
Yeah, I suppose we can do that. Remember, if you want to support the Boss Rush Network directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Boss Rush Network, and you will get early access to 4 shows, as well as, let's see. Hold on. I missed it. As well as, where am I at? Sorry, I'm trying to open the Patreon page. You can get early access to 4 shows, but if you are a Patreon producer, you get your name shouted out on this here segment, on this here program, as well as many other things across the Boss Rush Network. Now, we are recording on July 29th, 2022. We're recording in bulk because I'm going on vacation, and I want to make sure that our patrons are getting the content that they pay for. So, without further ado, our Patreon producers for this episode are Quentin Jackson, Rebecca Jewell, Adriel Munger, my wife, Sana Dirrig, Francisco Santillan, and Celeste Roberts. I want to thank all of our Patreon producers. I want to thank all of our patrons. And I want to thank all of our free listeners. Remember, if you listen on iTunes or Spotify, please leave us a 5-star rating or review. It really helps us out and helps find new audience for us. Even if you are a patron, if you could just head on over to iTunes and just leave a quick review, that really helps.
Yes. Well, Corey, where can we quickly find you?
You can find me at I am Corey HD on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find me on the Boss Rush podcast and Nintendo Pow blog, among other things.
Yes, you guys can find me at that Retro Code on Twitter and on Instagram. Also, check me out on Discord. You can find some of my writings on bossrush.net. And you can find me hosting Nintendo Power Block and Nintendo Expansion Pass. And sometimes I appear on other podcasts when I can. With that, everybody. Yeah. With that, everybody, have a great week. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you next time on Nintendo Expansion Pass. Bye, everybody.
Bye.